Recently I received one of the most disturbingly convincing scam emails I've ever seen. The email claims to be from the DVLA, which is the Driver and Vehicle Licensing Agency here in the UK. The email claims that my information with the DVLA has been found to be out of date during a routine check and needs to be updated, with the threat of my license being suspended if I don't update my details. Looking at the email, nothing about it gives away the fact that it's a scam, which is what makes it so terrifying. The email is written in perfect English, appears to come from a gov.uk email address, and contains a link that appears to go to the government's own website. To the untrained eye, all of this seems completely legitimate. You'd have to actually know what you're looking for to know that this is a scam. Now, if you ever receive an email like this, the last thing you should ever do is click on any links. Sometimes that's enough to infect your machine with malware without you having to do anything else. The absolute best thing you can do is delete the email and move on with your day. However, for the sake of research, I actually took a look at the website that this email linked to, and sure enough, it looks like a carbon copy of the government website. There are only two ways that you could tell that this website is fake. The first is that the links on the website to other pages, for instance the Gov UK help page, don't actually work. Although I've seen similar scams where these links take you back to the original site, the other way you could tell that this page is fake is if you took a look at the URL. It's completely different from the one seen in the original email. Somehow, these scammers have put a fake link into the email that claims to go to one site but actually goes to another. Incidentally, the website that this email claims to send you to doesn't actually exist on the real gov.uk page. Looking at the page itself, it's a form where the scammers hope that you'll enter your personal information and banking details. Once you've given all this information over to the scammers, you're redirected back to the legitimate government website. Incidentally, if you try to return to the website after you've put in your information, you'll be sent to the real government website and be unable to see the scammer's form again. I think this is accomplished by attaching a unique ID to every scam email sent. So I'm glad that I captured at least some footage for this video when I did. Presumably this is done to obfuscate the fact that this is a scam, as well as to make investigations more difficult. Now, if you're unlucky enough to have put your details into a scam site like this, then most likely the scammers will try to take as much money from you as they possibly can and launder it as quickly as possible before you realise anything has happened. So the best thing to do if you fall victim to one of these scams is to contact your bank as quickly as possible, explain what's happened, and get them to lock your accounts and change your details. I've put a link to the Citizens Advice page on what to do if you're a victim of a scam in the description below. It's also important to be especially vigilant in the future if you fall victim to one of these scams, because scammers are known to frequently target previous victims. Naturally though, the best thing you can do is protect yourself from becoming a victim of this sort of scam in the first place. Protecting yourself from a scam like this can be difficult, especially for people who aren't tech savvy, but it's not impossible by any means. The main thing that we can learn from this scam is that you must always be vigilant when it comes to unsolicited emails that are asking for your personal details. Pay particularly close attention to the URL of any site you're putting your personal information into. On mobile, this can usually be seen on the main bar above or below the website. Ideally, you shouldn't even follow links from emails at all. If something is legitimate, you should be able to access it from the website itself. For example, in this case, if the DVLA had wanted me to update my information, I could have done that from the legitimate website without following any links from an unsolicited email. Finally, to end this video, I wanted to take a closer look at this scam and see what exactly I can find out. The first thing that I noticed is that this scam uses a .nl domain name, which would imply that this scam is being run from the Netherlands. However, by looking deeper, I was able to find out that this scam is actually most likely being run from India and may be associated with a company called PDR Limited. It also seems that this particular scam was started at the beginning of this year, if the date of the domain registration is anything to go by. Although, take all of this information with a grain of salt, because it's difficult to tell where the hosting provider's information ends and where the scammer's begins. And also, no doubt, the scammers have gone through some lengths to obfuscate their identities. Just note that I will report this scam to anyone who might be able to put a stop to it. With all that said though, that's it for today's video. I hope that it proved insightful, if nothing else. Be sure to stay safe out there, and be sure to educate less tech-savvy folks about these sorts of scams. And as always, I thank you for watching.